In the name of the Father, and Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Tuksebeti, Kyriake, Agim, Nupati, Kenin, Kaike, Sosi, Anasoni, Anon, Amen. One of the most powerful tricks the devil uses against us is when he attempts to make us fall into despair. When we make when he makes us to feel there is no hope, or there is no solution to our problems, or there is no way to get away of our troubles. We will find this happen when we find no hope for a solution in my relationship issues with my husband or my wife. No hope for a solution to my relationship issues with my children. No hope for a solution to my financial situation, especially with all current economic status and all what's happening with unemployment issues. No hope for a recovery from a disease, no hope for a recovery from any illness I am in years now, no hope even for my salvation or my repentance. I lose every kind of hope for every good thing. And when we feel this, when I fall into this trap, I feel stuck in my problems, focusing on these problems only, focusing on these issues that I have, and I'm unable to move forward in a step. This is a dangerous snare because people who suffer will unfortunately give up everything, even give up God Himself. They will not trust God, they will lose hope in God and in His promises and in any way to save them. And this thought comes more to people after committing mistakes, after committing a huge sin, and after committing something like crisis. And they think, well, what's the solution now? And they keep zooming in too closely to the problem, too closely to this mistake. And even the devil will help them even more out of his best interest to focus on this mistake and this wrong thing that they are doing. And focusing on two things. There is no hope for any solution to this problem. As you see, now you are zooming in this problem. You can see now it is very big, it's very huge, there is no solution. And the second thing, there is no one who can help you, neither parents or brothers or sisters, servants, priests, no one, even God Himself. Even God Himself, He also forgot about you and He left you in such a crisis to deal with such consequences. And that's what happened when someone fall into this trap until this person start to develop a lot of doubts against God, obviously, against people around himself, against himself, oneself, and that's what we'll see. Against God, well, there is no way for God to forgive me. I did such a big and huge sin now, and this sin is not forgivable. And He will not support me since I am already away from Him and not close to Him. There is no way for others to help me. As you see, everyone now is thinking of me, the bad person, parents or partners or friends or anyone. It's even on the media. So everyone now knows that I am a very bad person and I have no control to even solve it with anyone. And also with myself, I started to feel like I am isolated now. I am lonely. I am rejected. I am not accepted by God. I'm not accepted by anyone. And I'm not accepted even by myself. And this will turn to completely damaged spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, socially, in all aspects until I feel rejected by myself. And that's what happened when someone lose hope, when someone gave up everything, gave up God Himself, and fall into despair. Look here at the saying from one of the saints in the of the early church father, Saint John Chrysostom. He has an answer of all what we were saying previously. And he say in his saying in this homily, he said, "For if God had made us in order to punish us, You might well have despaired and questions the possibility of your own salvation. That's if God made us in order to punish us. You might well have despaired and questions the possibility of your own salvation. But if He created us for no reason than His own goodwill and with a view to our enjoying everlasting blessings, and if He does everything for this end from the first day until this present time, what is there which can ever cause you to doubt? There is nothing to make you doubt. In other words, St. John Chrysostom wants to focus on this. Since God created us for our own good, to enjoy Him in eternity, and He does wants us and want our salvation, there is no reason to doubt that God will accept our repentance. For sure, God will accept our repentance. And God Himself said in Luke chapter 12, this is His pleasure. This is His pleasure. Do not fear, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. That's God's pleasure to give us the kingdom. So why we have doubts? Why we fall into despair? The opposite of hope is despair or despondency, basically to give up everything. And the state of despair or despondency is the most grievous and horrible condition a person can reach or a person can be in. That's the most horrible thing. Why? It is the worst thing. The worst thing that someone may reach is despair, losing hope. Why? If someone, for example, is faithless, he doesn't have faith, he can still be convinced by logic. If someone is proud, he can still be humble. God has ways. If someone is impure and not clean, he still can be cleansed. If someone is weak, he can still be strengthened. If someone is wicked, he can still be made righteous. But how if someone is despondent? He has despair. The very condition of his sickness is such that his heart and soul are dead and unresponsive to the grace of God. Imagine if someone is dead, his soul and his heart is dead to the grace of God. How he's gonna have life, how he's gonna accept support from anyone else. And that's the problem of despair or despondency. And that's why, in order for us to focus on the hope as a virtue in our life that affect everything in our life, there is a symbolic story about four candles. And those four candles, one of them said, I am peace, but these days nobody wants to keep me lit. Then peace flames slowly, diminish, becomes less until it goes out completely because no one wants to keep peace. The second candle was also burned or lit, said, I am faith, but these days I am no longer necessary. Now, with all logic around us, I am no longer necessary. So then faith flames slowly, diminish, and goes out completely. The third candle sadly said, I am love, and I do not have the strength to stay lit any longer. People put me aside and they don't want to understand my importance. They even forget to love the people who are close, families. How then they can love enemy? So even the candle of love also no longer wants to be lit, and this love candle also goes out completely. Then suddenly a child enters this room, found the three candles of peace, faith, and love. They are completely off, and he found one its own. He cried, why are you not burning? You are supposed to stay lit until the end. You are supposed to still to stay lit to help me and support me. I need you. Then the last candle, which was on this candle, was the hope. This candle, the fourth one, the only one, was lit and said, "Do not be afraid, little child, for I am hope. And while I still burn, we can still relight the other candles." So the child, he was glad, and he looked to this candle of hope and lit the other three candles. And this is a lesson for us that if we keep the hope, no matter what else in our life is weakened or what else is off, we can still give it light and we can still burn it. We can still shine again if we have hope. And through this hope, we can keep our repentance and our returning back to God. May God give us this life of hope. Glory be to Him forever and ever. Amen.